Good morning to all my dear students of class 12 of all the three streams, science, commerce and humanities. Once again I am back with my English e-learning class and I welcome you wholeheartedly in my class. Now students, in my previous class, I started to explain to you the chapter on the face of it by Susan Hill, where I have told you about the writer Susan Hill. I have explained to you page numbers 56, 57 and 58 line by line, and I have also told you the theme of the chapter as well as the justification or the significance of the title of the chapter, that is on the face of it. Today I will be continuing my explanation from page number 59 and I will continue up till 62 page number. Am I clear to you? Now don't forget to put your attendance in the comment box. Follow my explanation. Students, you look into page number 59. Mr. Lamb. No. Derry, aren't you interested? Mr. Lamb, you are a boy who came into the garden. Plenty do. I am interested in anybody, anything. There's nothing God made that doesn't interest me. Look over there, over beside the far wall. What can you see? Derry, rubbish. Mr. Lamb, rubbish? Look, boy, look. What do you see? Derry, just grass and stuff. Weeds. Mr. Lamb, some call them weeds. If you like, then a weed garden that. There's fruit and there are flowers and trees and herbs. All sorts. But over there, weeds. I grow weeds there. Why is one growing plant called a weed and another flower? Where's the difference? It's all life growing, same as you and me. Derry, we are not the same. Mr. Lamb, I am old. You are young. You have got a burnt face. I have got a thin leg. Not important. You were standing there. I am sitting here. Where's the difference? Derry, why have you got a thin leg? Mr. Lamb, real one got blown off years back. Lammy lamb, some kids say. Haven't you heard them? You will, lammy lamb. It fits. Doesn't trouble me. Derry, but you can put on trousers and cover it up and no one sees. They don't have to notice and stare. Mr. Lamb, some do, some don't. They get tired of it in the end. There's plenty of other things to stare at. Derry, like my face. Mr. Lamb, like crab apples or the weeds or a spider climbing up a silken ladder or my tall sunflowers. Derry, things. Mr. Lamb, it's all relative. Beauty and the Beast. Derry, what's that supposed to mean? Mr. Lamb, you tell me. Derry, you needn't think they haven't all told me that fairy story before. It's not what you look like, it's what you are inside. Handsome is as handsome does. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself, and when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. Only he would have stayed a monstrous beast. I won't change. What do these conversations between Mr. Lamb and Derry mean of page number 59? Mr. Lamb did not agree with Derry. Derry thought that he was not interested in his story. To this, Mr. Lamb said that he was interested in each and every creation of God. He pointed out at a wall and asked him what did he see beyond it. Derry replied that there were weeds or unwanted plants. Mr. Lamb explained that there were a number of plants in his garden. There were flowers, trees, and herbs. Some plants were considered good and some were called unwanted plants. It was not because they were different. All of them were green in color. It was about how people considered them to be herbs or weeds. In reality, they all were same, just like Derry and himself. Derry did not agree to this. Mr. Lamb told him that there was no difference. He was young and Mr. Lamb was old. He had a burnt face and Mr. Lamb had a tin leg. These things were not so important and so they didn't make any difference. Derry asked him the reason behind his tin leg. He replied that it got damaged in an explosion many years ago. Kids teased him by calling him Lammy Lamb. Derry said that he could cover the tin leg with his trousers so that no one could see it. Mr. Lamb said that it did not bother him much, as one day people would get tired of teasing him and would start discussing something else. Derry showed his face in reply to Lamb's statement. Mr. Lamb suggested that things like crab apples, weeds, spiders, and the tall sunflowers could also be some of the other things that people would probably look at and discuss. Derry commented that the other things mentioned by Mr. Lamb were things, that is, they were non-living. Mr. Lamb replied that all the things were related to each other. Just like beauty is related to the beast, that is, a beautiful creation is related to ugliness. Derry was confused. Mr. Lamb asked for Derry's opinion. Derry replied that often he had heard people saying that beauty is not related to one's appearance, rather, inner beauty is our real beauty. Even a handsome man is the one who does something good rather than one who looks good. He said that once a beautiful girl loved a beast for who he was and kissed him, which turned the beast into a handsome prince. He wouldn't have changed if she hadn't kissed him. Now students, you look into page number 60, the conversation of Mr. Lamb. In that way? No, you won't, Derry. And no one will kiss me ever. Only my mother, and she kisses me on the other side of my face, and I don't like my mother to kiss me. She does it because she has to. Why should I like that? I don't care if nobody ever kisses me. Mr. Lamb. But do you care if you never kiss them? Derry. What? Mr. Lamb. Girls. Pretty girls. Long hair and large eyes. People you love. Derry. Who would let me? Not one. Mr. Lamb. Who can tell? Derry. I won't ever look different when I am as old as you. I will look the same. I will still only have half a face. Mr. Lamb, so you will, but the world won't. The world's got a whole face and the world's there to be looked at. Derry, do you think this is the world? This old garden? Mr. Lamb, when I am here, not the only one, but the world as much as anywhere. Derry, does your leg hurt you? Mr. Lamb, tin doesn't hurt, boy. Derry, when it came off, did it? Mr. Lamb, certainly. Derry, and now? I mean, where the tin stops, at the top. Mr. Lamb, now and then, in wet weather, it doesn't signify. Jerry, oh, that's something else, they all say. Look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and doesn't feel sorry for themselves. Mr. Lamb, I haven't said it. Jerry, and think of all those people worse off than you. Think, you might have been blinded or born deaf or have to live in a wheelchair or be daft in your head and dribble. What do these lines or conversations of Mr. Lamb and Jerry of page number 60 mean? Mr. Lamb said that Jerry was right at that. Jerry said that no one would kiss him ever because of his face. Even his mother kissed him on good side of his face. He did not like this at all. He said that he didn't care even if nobody kissed him. Mr. Lamb asked him that did Jerry ever want to kiss someone? Jerry asked him what he was talking about. Mr. Lamb said that probably Jerry wanted to kiss pretty girls who had long hair and large eyes or other people whom Jerry loved. Jerry replied that no one would ever allow him to do so. Mr. Lamb said that this was unpredictable. Jerry said that he will never look different. When he will be as old as Mr. Lamb, then also he will have only half a face. Mr. Lamb said that yes, he will always have half a face, but the world was full of so many things to look at, so he must look at its beauty. Jerry questioned him that was the garden the whole world for him. Lamb said that when he was present in the garden, then the garden was his world. He then questioned him whether his leg hurt. Lamb replied that thing didn't hurt, it never pained. Jerry asked him if he suffered pain when he lost his leg. Lamb said that it pained back then. He then asked him if it pained now, where the artificial leg stuck into the real one. Lamb said that sometimes it pained in wet weather, but it was not that important. Jerry said that he could understand what he meant by all this, as he had heard people saying that you should take a lesson from those who suffer in pain and never cry or complain about their problems. Mr. Lamb said that he didn't say so. Jerry continued that people told him to look at those people who were in worse conditions than him. They told him that he might have become blind, be born deaf, or be handicapped and have to remain in a wheelchair. He may even have been born with mental disorder. Mr. Lamb said that yes, it was true and that Jerry knew so much. Students, you look into the textbook, page number 61. Mr. Lamb, and that's all true and you know it. Jerry, it won't make my face change. Do you know, one day a woman went by me in the street. I was at a bus stop and she was with another woman. And she looked at me and she whispered, only I heard her. She said, look at that. That's a terrible thing. That's a face only a mother could love. Mr. Lamb, so you believe everything you hear? Then Jerry, it was cruel. Mr. Lamb, maybe not meant as such, just something said between them. Jerry, only I heard it. I heard. Mr. Lamb, and is that the only thing you ever heard anyone say in your life? Jerry, oh no, I have heard a lot of things. Mr. Lamb, so now you keep your ears shut. Jerry, you are peculiar. You say peculiar things. You ask questions I don't understand. Mr. Lamb, I like to talk, have company. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to stop here at all. The gate's open. Jerry, yes, but Mr. Lamb, I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say, bees buzz. But when you listen to bees for a long while, they hum. And hum means sing. I heard them singing, my bees. Derry. But I like it here. I came in because I liked it when I looked toward the wall. Mr. Lamb, if you would seen me, you would not have come in. Derry. No. Mr. Lamb. No. Derry, it would have been trespassing. Mr. Lamb. That's not why. Derry, I don't like being near people when they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. What do these conversations of Mr. Lamb and Derry of page number 61 mean? Derry said that all this would not change his face. One day, as he was waiting at a bus stop, a woman passed by him. He heard her telling another woman that he had such a terrible face that only his mother could love him and no one else could. Mr. Lamb asked him, did he believe what he heard? Derry stressed that he heard it. Mr. Lamb asked that was this the only thing he had heard from someone. Derry said that no, he had heard many other things too. Lamb suggested him to shut his ears. That is, he should ignore all this. Derry found Lamb's words strange and added that he couldn't understand his questions. Mr. Lamb said that he liked to talk and also liked the company of others. He also told him that there was no need to answer him, and as the gates were open, he could leave if he wanted to. Derry did not leave and he seemed unsure of it. Mr. Lamb said that there was a beehive in one of the trees. People considered the buzzing sound of the bees to be a noise, but for him it was a song sung by the bees. Derry explained that he had liked the place from outside and so had entered the garden. Mr. Lamb questioned that would he have entered had he seen Mr. Lamb, to which Derry replied in the negative. Derry said that if he would have entered his garden even after knowing that he was there, it would have been without his permission. Mr. Lamb said that was not the real reason. Derry said that he did not like going near people as they got afraid of him and stared at him. Students, now you look into the last conversation of page number 61 of Mr. Lamb, followed or continued in page number 62. Mr. Lamb, you could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. There was a man who did that. He was afraid, you see, of everything in this world. A bus might run him over, or a man might breathe deadly germs onto him, or a donkey might kick him to death, or lightning might strike him down, or he might love a girl and the girl would leave him, and he might sleep on a banana skin and fall, and people who saw him would laugh their heads off. So he went into this room and locked the door and got into his bed and stayed there. Derry: forever. Mr. Lamb: for a while. Derry: then what? Mr. Lamb: a picture fell off the wall onto his head and killed him. Derry laughs a lot. Mr. Lamb: you see. Derry: but you still say peculiar things. Mr. Lamb: peculiar to some. Derry: what do you do all day? Mr. Lamb: sit in the sun, read books. You thought it was an empty house, but inside it's full. Books and other things. Full. Derry: but there aren't any curtains at the windows. Mr. Lamb: I am not fond of curtains, shutting things out, shutting things in. I like the light and the darkness and the windows open to hear the wind. Jerry: Yes, I like that. When it's raining, I like to hear it on the roof. Mr. Lamb: So you are not lost, are you? Not altogether. You do hear things. You listen. Jerry: They talk about me downstairs when I am not there. What will he ever do? What's going to happen to him when we have gone? However will he get on in this world? Looking like that, with that on his face. That's what they say. What do these conversations of Jerry and Mr. Lamb of page number 62 mean? Mr. Lamb suggested that he could lock himself in a room forever. He then narrated a story about the man who locked himself in his room as he was afraid of everything. The man thought that he would meet with an accident with a bus. He would catch infection from someone. A donkey would kick him to death. The lightning may hit him, or he may die because the girl whom he loved may leave him, or he may even sleep off a banana and people would laugh at him. In order to safeguard himself from all such incidents, he locked himself in his room. Jerry surprisingly asked Mr. Lamb if he locked himself forever. He replied that no, he did so for a while. Jerry asked him what happened next. Mr. Lamb replied that a picture fell on his head and he died. This made him laugh a lot, and he said that Mr. Lamb narrated strange talks. Mr. Lamb said that they were strange for some people. Jerry asked what Mr. Lamb did all day. He replied that he sat in the sun reading books. He said that the house was full of books. Jerry looked at the house and said that there weren't any curtains on the windows. Mr. Lamb replied that he did not like curtains. He liked transparency, light, darkness, and the wind too. Jerry added that he also liked all of them, and he also liked the sound of the rain falling on the roof of his house. Mr. Lamb commented that Jerry was present-minded as he could hear. Jerry said that his family worried about him, that what would he do in the future with a burnt face. My dear students, today I am concluding my class up till here, and in my next class I will be continuing my explanation line by line from page number 63 onwards. So for today, thank you students. Bye-bye. And before I conclude my class, let me tell you one thing. That is, go through the pages which I have explained to you from the chapter On the Face of It by Susan Hill. If you have any doubts, you can kindly clarify it from me. Bye-bye students. Thank you.